Hello, meet my Mardu Consume deck. This deck rotated out of Standard, and I haven't seen anyone play this at all, but I've just put it back together. About 70% of the cards I just threw in here. The core of the deck that remained was these Angelfire Ignitions, these Consume Alls, the Florian, and these Graveyard Trespassers. Other than that, basically everything is all new. The Fleshgorgers are a great addition. We lost 4 copies of Showdown of the Scald, which was probably the best card in Standard, or at least for this deck. So the 2 Sarah Paragons partially replace that. There's a little bit of anti-synergy here because it cares about graveyards and Consume All removes all graveyards, but it's only a 2 of, and you'll notice that every other permanent in the deck is 3 or less, and there's a ton of them. So even with exiling all graveyards once or twice per game, you're still likely to get a target or 2 for your Sarah Paragon when you cast it. There's so much graveyard recursion going on in Standard right now that the Chapter 2 of this deck is really relevant to other players. Uh, this is kind of the card it's based around. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. Doesn't seem like it's great, but it hits tokens and it hits evolved sleepers, and there's lots of those nasty soldiers that it hits, and mono red is playing the Monastery Swift Spears. Like, this card will surprise you. Finally, I want to touch on this Bloodthirsty Adversary. It's a 2 of. It can recur the Reckless Impulse, which is also in here to kind of replace the Showdown of the Skulls for some card draw value. And this being a target on top of the Abrade and Cut Down really makes this card a lot more valuable. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some good wins here. Hopefully you'll see Vessel of the All-Consuming hit its 3rd chapter, transform into the creature, and then immediately get Angelfire Ignition to gain a bunch of life. Really love that combo, really love this deck. I hope it lives up to the hype I'm giving it. Mardu Consume. This hand's a little slow, but I got all my colors and some of my pieces. Well, it'll be a while before I could kill the Evolved Sleeper with Valorous Stance. Valorous Stance, I mean. At least we have some life gain in the Fleshgorger if it isn't removed. This card, I'm telling you, this deck is built around this card, and it is so good against anything that's a 1/1 that you pump mana into. Opponent is gonna cringe when he sees this card. My 1/1, no! Or not 1/1, but my 1 mana card. Better give it a read. Would have been even better if he pumped more mana into the sleeper last turn, but I mean, opponent's smart enough not to put all his eggs in one basket, so credit him for that. I feel like I've been using the eggs in the basket analogy way too frequently. I love the auto upkeep trigger, or the upkeep stop that it puts when they cast Shieldred. I want to play Fleshgorger this turn, but if I do that, then they remove it and get in for a bunch of damage next turn, and I take 2 damage this turn, then it's bad. Just so bad that I could just lose the game to that. So it's nice it gets exiled from the graveyard too, from the Consumes trigger. Then we pass. So next turn, this thing flips over into this horrible monster of a thing. It's a 3/3 with trample that whenever it deals combat damage, it gets a counter. And then whenever it deals damage to a player, if it dealt 10 or more, you win the game. An alternate low win condition. It's too bad it's dead. I was going to haste it with Angelfire Ignition. It's going to do a bunch of stuff. But that's okay. We'll go Fable the Mirror Breaker. And then play a land. And then next turn we'll haste something. That's fine. This deck has the ability to come back because of all the lifelink in it. I have to discard 2 things because I really gotta hit a basic land here. Oh man, no hits. So that's horrible for us because we absolutely have to attack and gain some life, or otherwise we're just dead to almost anything. Invoke Despair will kill us. So I'd like to play the Gorger, but then I couldn't play the Angelfire Ignition, which, again, I must play. We could flash this back, so it doesn't matter if it goes in the graveyard. Or I'll get rid of the Florian. We do want card advantage, but casting this for 3 on the Fleshgorger next turn might be better. So that's great. Back up to 10. Opponent did not see that coming. Yep. Gets rid of the Ignition. Okay, untapped land, please, game. Oh, I should have wore my red dress because you're screwing me. Angelfire on the Kiki Jiki. Attack with it, gain 4 life. And then I could just Abrade his threat, whatever he casts. Back up to 10. We've gained 12 life this game. Opponent has 8 mana. So if I don't block, he just pumps it all the way to 10 and I lose. No choice here but to block. Feels bad. It's not where we want to be. Opponent's going to resolve them one at a time. I'd love it if he just activated a bunch of them all at once. There. Now that he doesn't have the mana to save the Misery's Shadow, can only pump it twice. It's dead no matter what. Need the untapped land. Gotta double spell this turn. Finally. We hit it. Better late than never. Better late than never. That's another one I may have been saying too frequently. Discard that. Into another land. Deck bricked so hard, and then when I finally hit the land I need, it's like, now you need lands. Well, we can't attack. Okay, well, I can't take it because I'm dead. I want to have the Fleshgorger in play for when the Mirror Breaker transforms. That's just a pipe dream, though. I can't afford to just chump block and leave him with 2 4/4s. I'm dead on board next turn. Florian, my man. In my time of need. So you gotta play this guy before combat to get your post-main phase trigger. He probably activates the man land here. He should anyways. He doesn't. So I get to look at the top 2. Exile one of them, I get to cast it. I get to cast it this turn, right? Yeah, that sucks. Deal 3 damage to target creature does nothing for me right now. I don't think I'm gonna go to 1. I think this is another double block turn. Lets me keep the Kiki Jiki. There we go. What we got to cast? Nothing. He exiled my whole graveyard. That's okay. So, I'm just gonna force opponent to block. I have 8 power, he's gotta activate his man land. Probably trades it with the Kiki Jiki. This is fine. Opponent says it's not worth it. He's had enough. Nice comeback. He gained 15 life this game and ended on 4, so good stuff. Only tapped lands for the first few turns, but you gotta do what you gotta do when you're playing 3 colors on a budget. Okay, opponent with some card draw value. I've discovered that as good as Fable the Mirror Breaker is on turn 3, I never want to blow up my own tokens with the Consumes All. Maybe I just want to Abrade his Bankbuster right now. No, it's fine. I'll play my Fable the Mirror Breaker. And that's fine if he wants to draw a card. I get my attack. So I'll go digging here. Get rid of these 2. Looking for lands and for what's the other card I love? Angelfire Ignition. Play the Florian pre-combat, so that when this deals damage, I get to look at the top two and play a land from there. That may have been a time at my end step to destroy that. But that's just as good of a target, if not better. Being really mana efficient. Nice short victory where I was patient and controlled opponent. There was some good decisions in playing the Mirror Breaker turn 3. The opponent wasn't able to respond to that very well anyways. All he did was draw a couple cards, but keeping the Abrade up turned out to be really fruitful. Not a good hand. Oof. Do not want to go to 5. At least I have a Reckless Impulse to kind of keep me in the game. So, what is a good draw here? I guess essentially any land we're happy with. That's not a land. I'll probably kill the recruitment officer, but if he plays like a veteran or something pre-combat, I might kill that. I think that's a fine target, even if he plays something a bit better here. Okay, please land, game. Do not do this to me. I love you, deck. I love your deck. Deck. D-E-C-K. Yep. It's weird that he keeps 3 up. Doesn't want to play into my removal. The Consumes Alls are really good here. Consumes his Alls. His deck's gonna make some tokens with cards like Siege Veteran. Discard up to 2 cards. I'll actually discard one of these. They get a lot worse in multiples. Okay, so Virtuoso into Angelfire Ignition. Connive Trigger. Ooh. I want all of these things. The thing that's really good about the adversary right now is I have 2 good targets for it in the graveyard, and I'm at 5 mana. So this card's online. This card is amazing. This card is the king of our deck. Yeah, it feels bad, but we'll get rid of our king. That's gotta be hard for a white soldier's deck to come back from opponent gaining 8 life. I'm at 28. How is he supposed to aggro me down? Pay that. Cast the Reckless Impulse. That's good. Hit a land. Next turn we could cast the Fleshgorger for 7 if we want to. frontliner. Puts that on there, yeah. I think I'll cast it for 3. That way I have mana to do more things. If I cast it for 7, I can't do this right now. Make a token of it, attack with it. Deck is popping off. Opponent playing a weird mid-range variation on soldiers. Soldiers with control cards, just... It's not mono blue. You may as well be playing Delver mono counter spells if this is what you want to be playing. In my opinion. Okay, so here's what I do here. This is a really cool play. Pay 1 to make a copy of Bloodthirsty Adversary. When the token comes in, pay 3 mana. He knew. I was going to cast Cut Down from the graveyard. Kill the 3/2 flyer. Really cool. Glad to have shown a game where the deck pops off like that. Ooh, it's a lot of land. I think I'll mulligan this. Everything I have is a 3-drop. I have no red. That's better. Looks better to me. Maybe I should keep the other land there. Have double white in case of the Sarah Paragon draw. Okay, I'll just Bloodthirsty Adversary here. And I'll attack. Best case scenario, opponent plays 2 1/1s. I would be so happy. So let me see, 2 Monastery Swift Spears. Oh yes. Come on, play 1 more, brother. Play 1 more. Yes! 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 Watch this. 3 mana, destroy 4 permanents. Phone scoops them up. Okay, I'm being a bit ridiculous, but like, that was awesome. Come on. How are you supposed to recover from that? Well, there's the Sarah Paragon. I needed my double white for. Things are looking up. I play the 3/3 there just so I have a body on board to block. This dog keeps howling. Gotta mute him. I want a Reckless Impulse and get into a land here, but I think I want more to just put a lifelinker into play. Things that gain life is just the bane of mono red. lost the Vessel of the All-Consuming, but he used a card to kill it. Awesome game. Probably the best usage of the first, what do you call it? The first chapter of this saga that I've had on turn 3 ever. Like, I destroyed 4 things on my turn 3. Whew. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.